This video is sponsored by DecalWorks, offering 10% off all graphics to retail customers. Use the promo code RX10 at decalmx.com to receive 10% off your graphics.
Okay, welcome to another garage build. This is RacerXOnline.com. I'm Chris Kiefer, and this is a very unique Husqvarna TC 250 2023 edition with fuel injection. If you guys watched some of my previous videos on the 300, you'll see that I'm usually not a two-stroke guy. I've said this many times in the videos, but that 300 was something special. I could ride it like a four-stroke. I told you guys it had like a four-stroke soul. So I brought the 250 out because I have ridden it off camera and I liked it so much that I thought, hey, let's do a garage build. So this is actually Andy Jefferson's machine for the Two-Stroke Nationals coming here at Glen Helen Raceway just next week. But by the time this video comes out, it will be past. But he wanted to build a unique machine with a lot of Husqvarna power parts on it. So I'm gonna bring Andy in to talk about what he has done to his bike and to let you guys know what you can do to your 250 out there and where you can buy the parts. But for me, I want to really ride this thing at Glen Helen on the same track that the guys will be racing here next week for the two-stroke race. And for me, again, when I wake up and I think I'm going to ride a two-stroke, I'm not as excited as riding a four-stroke, but once this machine was rolled out of the van, I'll be honest, I got excited. So looking forward to riding this thing here. I'll break it down for you guys here shortly, so stay tuned. We'll be right back with Andy Jefferson. All right, we're wrapped it up here at Glen Helen Raceway. Do you remember that movie Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito?
Oh,
can't tell us apart. We're like brothers.
Gray beards together.
My good friend Andy Jefferson, he's the Husqvarna Media Relations Manager. I hope I said that right.
That's perfect.
And as you guys know, Andy, if you're familiar with dirt bikes and motocross, Andy's been around for many, many years, raced Supercross, motocross, good friends with Mitch Payton, and has been with Husqvarna how long?
Now 13 years.
13 years. So having a job in our industry, in the motocross, motorcycle industry, anything over 10 years is a long time. Like, it's amazing that you've lasted that long. It's a tough...
Maybe not. No.
So this is your bike. We have the Two-Stroke Nationals coming here at Glen Helen Raceway. Like I said, by the time you guys see this, it'll have gone past. But right now, there's a ton of two-strokes out on the track right now. And Andy, you built this for this race coming up. So I went into the shop one day to tell you a little bit of backstory, how this whole thing came about. Walked in the shop, and I didn't even know Husqvarna made some of this stuff for the bike. I thought it was an aftermarket plastic company. He's like, nope, we carry all this stuff. So explain to the people out here how they can actually make their bike like this.
Well, it's realistically, all of the stuff that's on this bike comes out of our after-sales catalog or our aftermarket catalog at Husqvarna-motorcycles.com. Go into the shopping area and you can find everything that's on this bike. There's nothing that's proprietary to anyone else except for us. We make it all. The plastic, we do have different colors of plastic, really. We have black, we have gray, we have white, we have yellow, and then the standard colors that are out there, the gray and yellow fender. But I just kind of take a little bit of all the stuff from bikes that I liked, and the yellow, it's just wanted to be something different. You know, so at first, when I first started putting it together, I thought the yellow, I didn't like it. But after I got it all together, then I kind of liked it. It kind of grew on me over time. But we put the clamps on it that are the split clamp that comes from our, basically our Rockstar Edition that's out there. Same thing with the wheels. The wheels are basically just Rockstar Edition wheels. The there's a front disc guard, which you can't see from that side, but on this side there's a front disc guard on there that is another thing that's a power part that you can buy. The Decal Works helped me out with the graphics. They made these beautiful graphics for the bike. We have an FMF pipe and a silencer to go on it also that we sell in our catalog. So everything here is basically you can go to our catalog and buy.
Yeah, so I saw this in the shop and I thought it would be cool for a garage build just because one, Andy built it himself. He was planning on racing it. Now he's not racing it.
Nope.
He's backing out. But I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there who would be happy to race this. And then I was like, oh, it'd be cool for you guys to know out there that there are some things in the Power Sports catalog. They still call it Power Sports?
Power Parts.
Power Parts.
Yeah.
Look, we've all known KTM and that whole group has had many, many things. Like if you go through the book, if you see the catalog, it's this thick. There's tons of stuff you guys can look over. And for the vet guy, I think it's really cool. You have a lot of options you can buy. And from handlebars to wheels to pipes, even engine stuff they have. Not a lot of stuff yet, Andy, for this 250 Fi and the 300. There's some stuff creeping in, but I'm sure we'll see that stuff coming in next year.
Yes. Yeah, there's not a lot yet because obviously everyone knows this is new bike. It's new generation, and this is one of those things. This is not just a new generation and we threw the old motor in. This is new generation frame, shock, forks, and we've had it for a year on 4-strokes, but this is a 2-stroke, so it's different. So everything has changed. So yeah, it's going to take a little while for us to get more parts and especially motor stuff done. I think that once you ride it, the motor does run different than a traditional 2-stroke.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like the motor how it is, and like I said, we added a pipe to it. Chris rode it actually with a Pro Circuit pipe earlier today, and that changed the power a little bit, and he'll tell you about that. And then we also have an FMF pipe that we put on them too. So,
real quick too, so after riding this, obviously we have a cone valve fork up front, and then a track shock WP. As you guys know, they have the Pro components out there. There's 6,500 drop in, so however you want to slice it, there is a way to get you a spring fork and better hold up, firmer suspension, A-kit level type suspension. So real quick, just suspension wise, I'm pretty picky when it comes to WP steel frame type of character, especially here at Glen Helen. I told Andy earlier, this is probably one of, I don't know, top 3 to 5 sets that I have ridden that it's not even set up for me, but it has a lot of comfort. Pretty choppy here today. There's lots of comfort in the fork. I could use a little bit more hold up on the fork. The shock was firm enough for me. It's set up for you.
Yes.
How much you weigh?
200 pounds.
Yeah, so I'm 170, and the trade-off was actually pretty close, so I was pretty happy with that. Now, I've said this many times, I'm not a huge 2-stroke guy.
No.
Don't like riding them I don't say at all, but like not that much. So when the FI version came out, went out and did a test, probably some of the most fun I've had in a long time, just because the 300 and this 250 is more kind of like a 4-stroke where since they've changed and went to FI, it has some 4-stroke soul inside of it. You can lug it, you can ride it a gear high. With the Pro Circuit pipe, it has better recovery. It gets back up to the meat of the power quicker than the stock system does. So for me, I don't have to change my riding style that much because I've been on a 4-stroke for 15 years and now I'm getting back onto a 2-stroke. This bike kind of meets me in the middle. So I like that. I'm getting older. I still want to go fast, but I don't have as much energy as I used to. So when I think of 2-strokes, I think I got to expend a lot of energy. I don't know if that payoff is worth it. For me, this is worth it because I still can ride like a 4-stroke and still have as much fun. And for me, it is so light. I was telling Andy earlier, I can come in the corner so much harder just because I have so much less weight, less inertia coming in the corner. So that creates more fun for me. And then something about revving this bike in the air, the sound of it, just makes me happy. So I actually had a great time riding this. And if you watch all of my videos, you always hear me say this. I actually had a great time, but sometimes it's just kind of like Groundhog Day. You go testing and you have a bike and you think about what it does, and then it's not as much fun. And this was something new, so it was really fun. It brought me back to my childhood a little bit, and I didn't have to work as hard as I thought. So all of that put together is a great time. You actually said you prefer riding an FI bike over the old carbureted bike. Why is that?
Yeah, I've been, and I've been riding dirt bikes for a long time, old carbureted bikes, even the new carbureted bikes that we had. This bike just made it fun. Like there was a little low end, it was a little snap, and it was just fun and really like not shutting off, that revved out fine, everything about it to me. And then as Chris said, with the weight, the difference in and it's not even that it's, I want to say like, oh, it's so light, but it's the flickability of the bike. You can change direction so fast with this bike because there's no inertia pulling you around or making you go straight. Right. This thing flips over and turns so much fun, and I have a great time riding it. So for me, versus a new even 4-stroke, and anyone that knows me, I've been riding a 350. I love the 350. I'll tell you about 350, but I've changed over the last 4 months since I got this bike. I only ride this. I've been riding this 2-stroke pretty much everywhere. So for me, it's a big change for me to go to a 2-stroke, but I'm having a good time riding this bike. So.
Yeah, Husqvarna, KTM, they've kind of changed the game for me as far as 2-strokes go. When we go do these tests, and some of you 2-stroke crazy guys out there will yell at me on the comments, I understand it, but it actually makes me want to go ride one, have more fun. The 2-stroke race is coming up. It's one of the biggest races here at Glen Helen, so that tells you something out there. 2-strokes are alive and well, and they're actually fun to ride. So if you're like me and you've kind of been stuck in this 4-stroke era for a long time and you want to do something new, and maybe that'll create some excitement back into your riding, I think this bike is kind of like that. What Andy said, how light it is, your braking points are different. You almost not have to retrain how to ride because this thing helps you in that way, but it makes you do different types of things on the track, and for me, that's exciting. It's been riding so long, you've been riding so long, it's the same thing all the time. Although fun, it's something different and new, so I like that. So this TC 250 also looks beautiful. I never thought I would say high vis would look cool on a bike, but it actually does. I try to tie it in with some of my FXR gear. But again, you can go to Husqvarna-motorcycles.com and you can check out all of the power parts they have there available. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a drink. It's going to be a while. There's plenty there to look through. And I appreciate you. I only crashed once.
That's good. Anyone hurts my bike, I don't like it. But this is my guy, so it's okay.
Yeah, it was a great time today. So thank you to Husqvarna. Thanks to Andy. And again, you guys need any help with anything, Chris at KieferInkTesting.com. I'm happy to help you guys and point you in the right direction. And we'll see you on the next garage build.